Screaming from your soul. We watch it fall. Now you come to walk on. Come on, set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. On a rush like I've not felt before. I can trust myself. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can write our romance. We'll be the same again. I could keep the light from turning into darkness. You'd be my escape. What have we been told? Easy to unfold. Future might seem out of reach, but we're getting close. Will you follow me?
With anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of that noggin of yours as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, get put through an experience unlike MOE Studios. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Happy Monday to everybody out there. We hail from Boston, Massachusetts tonight with the Monday Night Raw, and pretty stacked Monday Night Raw, and filled with some decent matches, some good storyline progression here and there, and overall just like some good moments too from the world of WWE. But we're going to talk about it all. We're going to break it all down, of course, and as always, like to welcome our returning listeners, our returning viewers. Hopefully you're having a good time of the day, whatever time of the day that might be, that you are listening to our lovely sultry voices. But of course, if you're new around these parts, it's all good. It's fine. We don't bite much. None of us have rabies. We're fine. We've all gotten our shots, our yearly or every 3 year shots for those rabies. But of course, introductions need to be done. Heavyweight champion of the world. That's right. It's Watkins here. I'm going to be your guide through the red branded show that is Monday Night Raw. And of course, there are some lovely gentlemen here to join me in this discussion. First and foremost, he's known as a visionary. He's known as a revolutionary. He likes to spout love and peace all over the place, even though he stands Goldberg of all people, who just plows through everybody with his destructive force of a spear. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Legendy Vash. Vash, how you doing tonight?
It just sucks that I can't escape that fucking Goldberg transition. Like that one.
Never.
I just want to be out, just pickle out. However, it's your boy, the Latino Heat, Legendy Vash. Your Latino Heat that loves long title seekers. I see the visionary as well, but I'm not Logan Paul. I'm your boy, Seth freaking Rollins. Definitely not Logan Paul, but a big shout out to my boy, Memory NK, because goddamn, when he came on screen, I was like, Logan Paul, why are you here? But hey, he's part of the vision. Is this how they had to pivot to the direction without Seth? Hey, interesting perspective, interesting direction where they're heading to. But hey, let's see how it goes. We're entering, like Rigo said, WarGames.
Yes, War Games is upon us. We've got 2 War Games matches already set for Survivor Series. We'll talk about them here on the show. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, my other guest here, my other co-host here, he is known as the genius of the mat around these parts. He's going to help us break down, process, and mold together some of these stories that are going on to really help us just understand just what the hell is going on when it comes to like some of these WWE lovely story threads that go on. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the man known as Drop This Box. Drop, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, guys, and yeah, we are definitely setting up for War Games. It seems that all the pieces of the puzzle are put together outside of a few names, at least when it comes to the men. There's still a topic of conversation there because with that one, I'm pretty confident I know what the babyface team is for those, but heel team, not 100% sure on that. Ladies, I'm pretty confident we'll probably find the answer to that next week once we head into War Games. I think like after next week, like the week after that, we get War Games, right? That following week.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said it was like 2.5 weeks away. So yeah,
Uh,
we got until the 29th
yeah.
today. Yeah, so yeah, about 2.5 weeks. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we have all that coming soon, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. We're getting our last
Oh,
PLE for the year, at least for the main roster. So
and
that's
also a quick
definitely something.
reminder that next week on the 21st, we're also getting the pre-tape SmackDown for the 28th.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
that makes a
So,
lot of
Yeah.
sense because they're going on a little break and stuff. So yeah.
So that means we're
yeah.
getting spoilers, so be careful for anybody that don't need spoil on the 21st. Hopefully, somehow, some way, maybe myself and us trio could get to see the SmackDown before it comes out. Maybe give you guys a pre-tape review for the 28th. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Most
Yeah,
likely not.
Who
yeah.
knows indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
But
if
yeah.
only something wasn't coming out on the 26th.
Yeah, we've got another show coming out on the 26th that me and Drop are definitely binging. I don't know about Vash, depends on if he finishes part 4 or not
What you mean we have to?
by
Because we're doing
Sunday.
reviews this coming weekend. We're doing the
Well,
review. We
with
are.
him, I'm pretty confident on.
It's
The
think
cat maybe.
yeah,
the
thing
cat,
one,
right?
yeah, thing one, and thing two, whoever they may be. We'll figure out exactly what goes on with that. It actually gives us a good idea to check up on that for tomorrow.
By the
Oh
way, chat, if you
yeah.
guys want to hear about Stranger Things, stay tuned because we will be doing a review for Weebs Lounge episode 201 for Stranger Things seasons for the series.
Yeah.
And then stay tuned for volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3 coverage and I'll be dropping on Anima Wii Studio, collabing with Drop This Box and Walker's MW channel. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of
Yep.
fun, man.
So oh yeah, it's gonna be hella fun. But look, that's Animal We Studio stuff. That is Weeb's Lounge stuff. That is stuff that is not pertaining to the grappling of men and women. We're here to talk about Raw. We're here to talk about wrestling. We're here to talk about a pretty good Raw. I'm gonna go out and say it. I thought tonight's Raw was pretty good. There a couple low parts here and there, but not as low as it's been in the
Yeah.
past couple weeks. So let's just talk about everything. Let's break it all down as D-Generation X would say, because hey, Triple H was out here to start the night. Yeah, you love that transition, didn't you, Vash? Of course you did. Yeah, so John Cena is making his final appearance here in Boston, Massachusetts. Of course, he's going to start the show. Of course, he's going to love the crowd in Boston. He's going to praise them, going to just, get all of his John Cena positive juices out there for the crowd. And who's going to be the one to interrupt John? Who can possibly be the biggest heel to interrupt good old John Cena during this retirement tour going into his hometown? Well, it's none other than our Intercontinental Champion, dirty ass Dominic Mysterio. He comes out, interrupts John, kind of wants some retribution for what happened last week when Ray interrupted his big celebration for beating Penta and Rusev in that triple threat match. So he wants some retribution for what happened there. Of course, him and John have some words, which pretty good back and forth promo segment from the two of them. But this ends up leading into an IC title match right then and there. Like we had seen reports of this coming out in the past couple weeks cool, great, awesome, neat, but it's one thing to like have it actually happen. And I actually thought this would have been like the main event tonight, but they decided, hey, we're gonna do it now. First match of the night. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Let's have this match. John Cena taking on dirty ass Dominic Mysterio. And I'm just gonna flat out say it. Match wasn't too good. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say that flat out. The match itself was not good, but it's not about the match itself tonight. It's about the moment. John Cena finally becoming a Grand Slam champion. So I'm gonna point it now to our lovely, lovely visionary Vash here. Vash, what do you think of the promo segment beforehand, the match itself, the moment? How excited are you that John finally was able to capture that last final piece of his puzzle for his career within the WWE?
Yo, chat. I gave this prediction for Saturday Night Main Event, and I said it a couple weeks ago during the short form content, and I released it. I said that Dom will retain that triple threat, and then a couple weeks later, we will get Dom versus John Cena, and John Cena will retain the IC title, and guess what? He became the Grand Slam. I'm just glad that happened. Wasn't something predictable that everyone expected the last couple weeks or probably early this year that, hey, John's going to get the IC title match. It's going to become Grand Slam. Was it predictable? Yes, because we were, speculating this. The reports, the rumors were coming out over the past couple weeks and months. We knew that Dom was still champion during this time. We knew that eventually John was going to have 4 or 5 days left. How can we do this? Now, like cool storylines where, for example, Sheamus, IC Grand Slam as well, possibly. All those connections, they're doing this well with how they could connect everyone in this tournament within their own right. And I love that. So to have Dom even be the most snarkiest, the mastery one to literally come out and be like, yo, I'm gonna interrupt this old, like he literally calls his own father deadbeat dad. So to literally come and interrupt John Cena, I'm not shocked. And for even Ray to be there outside when John Cena was in the backstage to tell Ray and like, yeah, man, he deserved the ass whooping. He deserved for him to lose the title against you, like how I lost it 20 plus years ago. Bro, that's just crazy. Your own father congratulating the opponent over his son. That's some crazy shit. That's what it shows. Dom, you deserve it. So, I was happy.
You saw Ray's tweet when John won, right?
LOL.
L.
Just 3 letters.
I'm like, man.
That's literally why I have him in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm just glad my dad's not a deadbeat like Ray, because man, to have your own father just go online in front of thousands, if not millions of people after you just get the ass whooping of a century, LOL. Like, man, the most my dad said was after I would lose a wrestling match in high school, he'd just be like, "Hey, how many lights were on top of the ceiling? Like, how many lights are in this gymnasium?" I'm just like, "Dad, shut up. Just zip your mouth." I don't
It's
want
just
to hear
crazy.
it right
And
now.
also the way that people try to theorize, imagine Ray does the same thing. I believe it was one of the wrestling commentators, and they tweet out, I forgot who it was, but they tweet out saying that imagine if John wins, then Ray asks for the match, and then that same night Ray takes the title, and then Ray and Dom versus Survivor Series. I'm like, heard that, cool concept. I just didn't feel the gripe as much as that. Like for example, this moment, I saw Ray. Everyone knew this moment. They adapt, they accepted. But I don't think right now Ray at this time have the moment, the power, the power to do that right now. It will be a cool joke, but at the end of the day, John just did like a 10-something 15-minute match, and it was kind of not the best work with Dom. So would he want to do another match with his father and also not have the best air and stamina to do another match in the same night? I don't think so. So I'm okay it didn't happen.
At least there's a prize on the line now when it comes to the Last Time Is Now tournament, because before we thought it was just going to be a regular match where whoever wins this tournament goes up against John Cena, defeats him, ends up getting the whole thing where it's like, oh yeah, I retired the guy and that's it. But at least there's a prize on the line now, which definitely changes how I feel about the entire thing, because it's like I mentioned before, and we're obviously going to be diving into it when it comes to exactly, what we're going to be seeing soon with these matches moving forward once we get into our next segment. But it's just mainly just to give you guys a little snippet. It needs to go to someone that's like upcoming that really needs it, especially when you look at that
Mhm.
title they have on them, because that's pretty much the title you mainly start with to really propel yourself before you get to the main event. That's kind of like a little kickstart thing that you have there. So I'm honestly glad that John Cena won. It would be completely stupid because if I ended up coming on here tonight talking about the show and everything when it comes to this match and then John lost, I would have been very upset because it's like this is your only chance to do it. You might as well do it and get it over with. I did see people online
Yeah.
upset about this. I don't understand why. I mean, I guess it's subjective. At the end of the day, you're allowed to feel whatever you want, but at the same time, it's like it's his retirement tour. This is the only title that he's never won. This is the only shot that he really has at it at this point. If he ended up losing this match, I mean, then we weren't going to end up seeing him ever with the IC title. It's like, why complain? Dom's going to have another opportunity at this title one day. He's going to become a world champion one day if it's the WWE title, the World Heavyweight Championship, wherever the case may be. This guy's here for the long run. Just because he loses once doesn't change anything. So we need to kind of tone down when it comes to our favorite wrestlers, because I have favorite wrestlers too. Sometimes they lose and then they end up picking themselves up again, and then they end up, doing pretty good in the next 5 to 6 months or so. So you're not going to have a nightmare. Everything's going to be okay. I felt like they made a good decision here when it came to John Cena winning the title. The crowd was really into it. We had a really hot crowd tonight. That's something I really appreciated. He got a huge pop and everything. It was well deserved. So I definitely agree with the mission
Yep.
statement that they made tonight.
I have a quick question because it just popped up in my head and it relates to this. I saw our good friend from the anime manga community, Anarchy Smash. He said that if
Oh, you're
Dom
gonna
is going to
mention
lose
him
to,
too. I was gonna
yeah,
do too.
let's go! A big shout out to our
Shout
boy.
out to you, Aniki. Shout out,
Yeah,
Aniki.
yes. I love just seeing his tweets. He just talks like quick tweets, John stuff about wrestling like every Monday and
Mhm.
Friday now. So I just love seeing the timeline. But his comment was Dom winning the Royal Rumble and getting his chance for the world title for WrestleMania next year. Push him for the next 6 months because what is next for him? Because not that he's become the IC title since this past WrestleMania for the past 5 months, what's next for him in the story. So me hearing that, I'm like, shit. Like he does get pops, he does have the crowd behind him. He gets
Yeah.
heel in some cities, he does get the pop in some cities. So him getting pushed, and then we said Sami Zayn for Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
but then we have Dom, but it's also in Saudi. So it's gonna be very interesting. Like, that's a good idea. Great option for that.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's just not next year good idea.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't see it happening yet,
Yeah.
but in the future, yes. Dom is gonna be a future world champion. He will probably win the Royal Rumble at least once in his career, but in 2026, I don't see it just because I
Yeah.
feel like they have other plans going forward. Plus, like Dom can still get a really good push without a
Yeah.
world title at the moment. Because,
Yeah.
like, again, he could win back the IC title. He can go for like the US title. Well, I mean, that involves him going to
Oh,
the
good
other show
luck.
and all that. But
Good
like,
luck.
yeah, that too. Like, he can answer an open challenge. Why not? See what happens there. But currently,
Get
also,
smack shit.
he, yeah, but currently, right now, he's the AAA Mega Champion, which is already kind of a world champion.
That is true. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So like right now, he's already in that world champion status, so he
Yep.
could pretty much take that and run with it for a bit.
Yeah.
Whether that involves like him and Ray having a match at the next AAA event, or and that leads to like Ray retiring or anything, or just other programs too. Like I feel like like Dom is actually a really good choice to have as the AAA Mega Champion
Mhm.
because of just the exposure that not only that title is getting, but that company itself is getting. Plus, he's a good enough heel. At least on WWE TV, he's a heel. In AAA, they're cheering even more, even louder
Yes.
for him than
Most of
WWE
face
is.
over there.
Yeah. But that might be for other reasons, but I'd have to do a little bit more research on that aspect of it. But yeah, Dom's gonna be fine, I think. Because again, he's somebody that the company latches onto. He's somebody that the company trusts a lot in. I mean, we've seen reports throughout the past few years. I mean, CM Punk's first matches back in WWE, like when they were doing the I think it was like during
The holiday tour.
Yeah.
holiday tour, like back in
Yep.
2023.
Yep.
Dom was one of his only opponents during that time. Like, you don't trust somebody as big as CM Punk coming back into the Punk company other than somebody that you fully trust, and that person was Dom for them. And again, he's a solid hand to have. He's a solid, safe hand, and he knows how to not only get the heat, but to put on just like a good heat generating match as well. So
Agree. And
he did really well with the title, and him dropping into Cena, he's fine. He'll be fine. I say that now, as long as the booking continues a forward progression with him, because I know we said in the past, oh yeah, they'll be fine, and then they end up not fine, but I do at least believe Dom will be fine.
I agree with that. And like to add one more caveat to what you're saying about Dom, we also recall, I believe, during commentary that Dom has won the most matches, I believe, in 2023, or has done the most matches over the past couple of years. So it shows that he also, I believe, had the most title defense as well, I believe, this year as well. He had, we heard it during commentary. So it shows that he is a company guy. He's doing well. I cannot picture out in my head now what Job said. Have Dom versus AJ Dragunov, so I could just see Dom's chest fucking bloody red. I just want to see that now, just to see a good fight and a good destruction for Dom, because I feel like we'll be happy, smiling, seeing that happen.
Just get a good old H-bomb right to your face.
Yeah, he's not gonna.
That'd be great.
Yeah, he's not gonna survive that fight at all, which is gonna be the amusing part about it. Like, it's just gonna take a couple of hits and then he's one and done. But at least with him being the world champion with AAA, like you guys mentioned, it gives him an opportunity to actually focus on that title. That's why I was like also happy as well that he lost it, because now we got the whole John thing out of the way. We could finally move on from that, because I mean, it was just time to really do it. Should have been done years ago, but they just decided to wait until now to do it. But that's nor here or there. But the other thing I had to mention as well, you didn't mention about the match quality earlier. Only one comment I want to make about that is I agree with what you said earlier, Watkins. The match really wasn't that, but all in all, it was really the moment that made it special.
Yeah.
So that's something I am happy about.
I do agree with that. I was a bit thrown off during the match of the quality it was. Like, I feel like the spots, or it was a bit sluggish, where like they was trying to get into the right spots, into the right maneuver, and they're trying to hit the referee, trying to get in the right spot to have him down. It just felt a bit of the shenanigans, is what we call it on the shows. But at the end of the day, it was still just fucking smart. Like, I believe I came back watching Raw at the start of the match, or like 2 minutes in, and I was, getting the OBS stuff ready for us to do the show and just other things I got to do for the night. I was watching on my tablet. I kept having like one eye, like just going down and just, okay, I still got to work, but I'm going to lock in. And just seeing the moment, knowing that I knew John's going to win. The match wasn't great, but I was still locked the fuck in. And just knowing that John's about to get this moment, like, yes, he's about to get that Grand Slam opportunity. And then just knowing that shit, that MSG next week in my head, still not able to make it. Who knows, a week from now, I'm going to be like, yo, Vash is at the show over there. Go say hi to him. Hopefully, I saw him there. Who the fuck knows? But just to see John actually just have it, knowing that he pinned him, go to the rope and be like, holy fuck, I did it. I became Grand Slam. And like, it was just... It's like the meme when you see of The Simpsons when you're a little kid and then you're an adult and then you're Homer and everything. Like, just seeing like, damn, I've seen you all these years. You went from having no accomplishments to now being the Grand Slam. And also the Miz, fuck you for tweeting saying, like, look at you. It took you this long. You finally became one. I've been a two-time Grand Slam. And also, I see you next week for the the Miz versus John Cena. He's trying to promote that, but congrats. Hopefully, good luck for you on that. I know not many people might not be excited for that. I don't mind it, because I was a big fan of their feud. But
Mhm.
I'm happy for John Cena. Congrats for his Grand Slam. It's long overdue. But hey, this was a easy way to kind of, like Job said, now we have a title and a reward, something to kind of, dangle at the end for any battle tournament. Now, whoever gets it, I know our group chat was saying, Obafemi, if that man is a
Mhm.
mystery opponent that they're going to talk about, yo, the ruler, bro. I've been hyped for this man since NXT. I'm here for it.
Like I
Yeah,
said, give it
and
to
I think
someone that needs it.
yeah, and this is a good way to kind of transition into talking about that tournament because we did start, our first rounds of them. We had Rusev and Damian Priest taking on each other, and Sheamus taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. And I think my one big gripe with this tournament, and this is just a me thing, I wish we had a bracket so I could see where everybody's located. Because I'm sorry, like I'm a visual person. Not only am I a visual learner, I like to be hands-on with my learning and my understanding with things. So having that visual to be like, okay, let me actually start theory crafting a little bit and understand like maybe we could go this way or that way, this way or that way, and all that. Because like I know I saw some tweets earlier, and I mean, this kind of might be jumping the gun a little bit with like what we got announced as our matches next week. But like, I did see some tweets, mainly around the Friday mark when Jay was announced to be part of this tournament. They're like, "Oh, great! Can't wait for the finals to be Jay versus Gunther." And I'm just like, "Oh man, that is going to be the finals, isn't it?" Unless Obafemi's on that side of the bracket, which I
Yeah.
guess we're doing the different sides like a Raw and the SmackDown side, but whatever. That's getting into nitty gritty with it. But again, we had two matches tonight: Rusev and Damian Priest, Sheamus and Nakamura. Starting with like Rusev and Damian Priest, this was just a big old hoss fight between these two. Both of them very hard hitters, especially Damian Priest got to show off just a little bit more tonight. It's been a while since he's been able to like showcase some of his power like this, like especially in his grounded offense. Like there was that moment where they're both kind of side kicking each other, which I thought was really good. But the main story of this match is basically Damian Priest and his eye. Like it's still injured from getting the burn on it from Friday when Aleister Black like really poked at it, and it was basically the biggest target that he had. And Rusev took full advantage of it, poking him in the eye, like digging his eye, and then hitting him with a Machka kick, 1, 2, 3, picking up the win. He's going to be facing what I'm assuming was in the winner of the Sheamus Nakamura match, but I'm gonna bring it to you guys first. Drop, I want you to start us off. How'd you think of this match in particular? Anything that like stood out to you during these two? Because like this is the first time like Rusev and Damian Priest have faced each other, at least in recent memory that I can recall. Because I don't think Rusev was really around when Priest was on the main
No,
roster.
no.
So yeah, what do you think of this match?
So I was really interested to see how this match was going to go because, like you said, these guys never fought each other in a match before. So I'm very curious to see how they would work with each other in the ring. Was it going to be a good thing? Was it going to be a bad thing? And I did like what I saw. I thought the match was pretty good when it came to both of them going at it. I had a feeling Rusev was going to get the W anyway because obviously Damian Priest has other things to worry about. But I thought it was good because, Rusev, like we spoke about before, okay, what's next at Rusev now that he's done with the IC title? Okay, at least this gives him something to do in the meantime when it comes to him competing in the tournament. Rusev seems like a tournament guy. Rusev seems like a guy that could go pretty far in the tournament, at least like make it there, maybe like midway before the finals or something like that. I just see that in him because he's a really tough guy, He's not somebody that you just hit once and then he's down. Like you got to hit him a couple times before that guy's,
Mhm.
done and you just move on from him from there. But yet the matcha kick, finishing Damian Priest, no interference here. There was part of me thinking Aleister Black was going to come in here only because,
Yeah.
you saw on Friday that he had a match with Cody. Damian Priest came out. It's usually a typical recipe for WWE where, oh, you did something during my match, I'm going to do something during yours. But I like how they structured this because I want this tournament to be taken seriously. I don't really want that much interference unless it really matters. But if it was up to me, I personally would want it. I would either want you to either win or just lose, and then you just recognize that you're a loser when you look at yourself in the mirror. But yeah, Rusev
Mhm.
winning this match made a lot of sense, and I felt like we're gonna see some good things soon, especially when it comes to our
Yeah.
next match if those two guys go up against each other.
Oh yes. Oh yes. But Vash, do you have any comments on the Rusev Damian Priest match?
No, I don't, because I feel like you guys said it perfectly. This was a good, solid match. Like Job said, I also assumed Anderson Black was gonna come in for the
Mhm.
surprise, but it didn't happen. However, Rusev was the right choice to win. You guys said it perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think because I also saw this online too, and I'm glad we're getting this, and I hope it continues throughout this tournament with no interference. Because like, yeah, that these guys should have to earn that spot
Yeah,
against Cena. Where like, and I mean, I say that, and yeah, Rusev, he took advantage of the eye and all that, but like, you can't really help that. I mean that's a big old target right
yep,
on your opponent. You take advantage of it, so I don't blame you at all, Rusev at all. But yeah, like it's not only just like they should earn this right to face Cena in his final match. And even Cena said it in his promo earlier. It's just like, yeah, you get the right to like face me, possibly retire me, but I'm not going down without a fight. So yeah, the person's gonna have to earn that. So like you
yep,
already had the prize of ending John Cena's career. Like that was the end goal of this tournament. But now like you just get that little cherry on top with the IC title now. And with Rusev, like he was in that title picture, but now he wasn't because he was put in this tournament, but now he's back in it. So now he's back on that hunt. Now it's just even more of it. And I love how, like, with this next match, Sheamus and Nakamura, that was an added caveat with it. And I think Wade Barrett even mentioned it too on commentary. It's
yep,
like, oh, now Sheamus has more of a reason to win because not only does he get to face John Cena on December 13th, which, fun fact, is an anniversary for good old Sheamus and John Cena when it comes to title pictures, but if Sheamus wins again, like if he wins the tournament, beats John Cena, he becomes a Grand Slam champion itself. So, like, this is what I keep saying when I love tournaments because there's so many stories you can tell within a tournament. There's so many like little tiny stories because, like, you have Rusev. Rusev has a story with John Cena to get like his win back from WrestleMania 31 when they fought against each other for the US title. Sheamus has a story not only with the history of him and Cena, but the chase for the IC title as well. And the fact that it's on the same day that he won his first WWE title, like that, it's perfect.
it
It's a
writes itself.
perfect mesh. And then to have those two possibly face each other in the next round with their history and all that. So
Yeah.
like now you have that. Like this is why I love tournaments like this because like you can tie these stories together so well.
I do agree with that. Like, it's a nice balance of story or threads, pieces, just be maneuver and work together in the
Hmm.
tournament. Where that, hey, you guys haven't seen each other in a year or a couple months, but now you guys are meeting again, but you guys are going for the same prize. And like you said, with Wade Barrett adding that caveat, I knew with Sheamus was gonna win. Just seeing also Nakamura. By the way, I was happy his song hit. You heard
Hmm.
that screech, and you were like, yes. I was singing with the tempo and the beat in the computer, and I was like, yes, thank you for Nakamura. Thank you for being who you are, the wrestler, the fandom, the community, the people in the arena that was just being there for his pop, and I loved it. And but
Hmm.
having Sheamus, once Wade Barrett said it, like, hey, if he wins this, he could also become a Grand Slam like John Cena did today. Once I heard it, I'm like, yo, that is how you intertwine stories together. Like, this is like,
Hmm.
yo, writers, you're actually cooking. You in some segments, you guys are doing right in some things. In others, we will talk about shortly.
Yeah, but it just makes a lot of sense how like all of this is flowing together because all these guys have a reason when it comes to Rusev, when it comes to Sheamus here. So it's always good to structure something like that because then you can look at it at both directions where it's not like a one-sided thing where it's like, oh, okay, it only makes sense for this guy. No, it makes sense for both of these guys because of, what they're currently doing right now when it comes to advancing in the tournament. And there's just, I mean, it's like these two guys said, the story writes itself. Like it literally just carved its own path on its own without us making the path. The story made the path on its own, and that's something that I really like that WWE does, because once they do stuff like that, it brings me back when I'm like, okay, this is the kind of storytelling that we want to see on the weekly television show. This is the kind of thing that you need to be sticking with weekly, because this is the kind of stuff that gets us invested. This is the kind of stuff that we come on here on our shows, or just like other content creators shows, where we're able to have a discussion like this because of the pieces of the puzzle that you gave us that allowed us to form the puzzle. So you could put it in a picture frame, you could hang it on your wall and everything. You just look at it and be like, yeah, that's what perfection should be when it comes to crafting these storylines week by week. But outside of this, though, we also know what our matches are going to be for next week as well. And one of these, I'm just going to say early on, definitely has could be definitely be put in one of the categories for like match of the year when it comes to Devon Evans, which is an upcoming guy, has a long future ahead of him. And then you also have a returning Gunther, which is going to be very interesting because what do we call these kind of matches, friends? David versus Goliath. And that's going to be a very good match. I expect both of them to go all out, and I am just super excited for it. Like, if I had to say out of these two matches that I'm super excited for, it would definitely be this one. Like, this one, popped me because outside of like the matches we got earlier tonight, this is new, something we haven't seen, and I'm putting it in Gunther's favor, but you never know what they might do. But I'm kind of hoping someone else takes Gunther down. But what are you guys' thoughts on this? And also, we got Sol Sikoa versus a mystery opponent, which
mystery.
Hopefully, it's
I don't
hold up. If I could jump in real quick, the one thing I'm laughing about is because the mystery part, because I love how fucking Adam Pearce did another like Nick Aldis move and say, hey. I'm gonna not review this to you guys, even though I just read it. I would just rather not tell you and do a cool segment just snapping the cap back in. And I'm like, bro, you technically don't know who it is, or you guys just still trying to figure out. Because that's what I told Watkins. Because it was like, guys, remember how the King of Games, we had the tournament, sorry, the King of Games. I said like a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. The King of the Ring tournament.
I was just like, is that Yu-Gi-Oh? What? Nani? We're playing a children's card game now?
I just went a whole right. I'm saying the King of the Ring tournament for the King and Queen. We have the full bracket usually, but the reason I said is that we don't have the mystery point is I think it's to build suspension, to build theories, and also it's because there's also trying to figure out during the weeks because of all the people of the wrestlers having injuries and everything. So I don't think they want to pivot too much in case they put a public bracket as well, and they might have to pivot in case something changes in the coming weeks. So that was just my thought because the mystery opponent. I would love to say, like we said earlier, Obafemi sounds exciting. It's just love to throw one to the dart. But if they're gonna do this other type of mystery opponents in the next couple weeks, I'm like, bro, that's like too much type of guessing, too much theorizing, and it's hard to kind of like what other TNA superstar do we want to see that? Imagine if we see like AJ Styles or like any other person, but it's kind of hard to do. So for me, I just want to throw Obafemi. That's my choice. When it comes to Javon Evans and Gunther, I love it. I'm excited for it. I know that Gunther's gonna be like, he's gonna try to bully him, be like, "Oh, look at you," or something like that's his type of character.
Try.
So I can't.
Yeah.
I say or will.
I'll say this though.
He will do so. He will be the dominant force by throwing him down, putting those chops and everything, 100%. But however, Javon Evans, I'm excited for to see what he does, the flips, and how will he do countermeasure towards his type of strong style that Gunther is with his type of style of wrestling.
I'll say this though, Javon Evans was able to get a good couple of hits on Obafemi, and he was able to lay him out on his back. So
yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I wouldn't put it past him to do something like that to Gunther. I don't think he's winning the match, but he's gonna have a good showing. But he's definitely capable of laying that man where he's looking up at the lights for a little bit, where he's like, "Holy shit, this guy actually knocked me off my feet," and I'm looking up in the ceiling for like a few seconds. So I agree with you when it comes to like the whole Solsko versus Obafemi thing because I mean we have an NXT guy here. I don't see the reason to not throw another one in there. If they're gonna do like two TNA guys and two NXT guys, I mean, do it for someone that I know you don't have any plans for on the roster. And I'm just gonna say it because I made it a tweet on my Twitter itself. If Obafemi isn't a part of this tournament, I just feel like it's just a big missed opportunity because he's not being regardless if he wins it or not. I just feel like you're not doing anything with him. You had him lose the title to Ricky Saints. He hasn't been seen on television ever since. There's nothing built in NXT that's saying Obafemi's coming back. Like that guy is done with that brand because they're literally moving on with whatever feuds they're having. He's not mentioned at all. Bring the guy up, give him a good showing here, have him go up against Gunther or something. I feel like that would be a really good match to see. And I'm just going to say what I said earlier now. When it came to John Cena winning the IC title, we have Gunther here who has been IC champion. Gunther, I know, is probably the person that a lot of people see going up against John Cena. Will it be a bad match? Probably not, because I know John Cena will give it his all in that match. Is it a predictable match? Yes, because it is a predictable route that they could go down. Not saying predictable is bad, but since that IC title is on the line, I'd rather give it to someone like Sheamus that actually makes sense to win it, or Rusev, than Gunther. Because I kind of feel like if you give it to Gunther again, that's kind of like, you're kind of like going back a little bit. I feel like he needs to go a little forward.
Yeah.
He could easily feud with somebody that's around like his size or his caliber to really make it feel like a main event match. If he's going up against, let's say hypothetically, CM Punk's not champ anymore, whatever. He has a feud with CM Punk. Okay, that's a big name. Gunther's going up against a big name. He's fighting him. Just using it as an example. It just doesn't fit right with me if we do get that Cena and Gunther match and then he ends up beating Cena, retiring him, and then he just wins that title again. I just rather give it to an Obafemi or some other guy that can use that to catapult themselves, hold that title for a little bit. Like I can't say a little bit with him, and then actually, start pushing themselves up to where they need to go. Somebody that can use this as a walkway to create their future. Somebody that you can look back at 5 years from now and be like, yeah, I'm the man who retired John Cena. They can carry that with them for the rest of their career. Does it fit Gunther's character for that? Sure, but I don't necessarily like it. Especially with this IT title not being a part of the picture.
Yeah, I feel you there because it's like if Gunther does win it, because when you look back at Gunther's history, like he held that title for so long, 666 days as IC champion, and he went up to the main event picture after that. Didn't have really good main event run, if I'm being honest.
I agree.
Kind of middle of the road run right there. So like, I feel like we kind of need to rebuild his main event stock.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really need the IC title for that. Would it help? Yeah, sure, you can make an argument for that. But like at the end of the day, he'll have to drop that title. And we've already had him hold that title for a monstrous reign, dropping it at WrestleMania. Hell, his past 2 WrestleManias, he's dropped a title when you think about it. Like when you put it into perspective like that. So it's just like we really need to kind of build Gunther back up as like this main event killer almost. And I mean, could he still go on to beat John Cena, like decimate John Cena, win the IC title? Yeah, sure. It's just like when you have that title on him, he has to lose it eventually. Like it's almost that feeling I had way back when with the Fiend. It's like, okay, you put a title on the Fiend, he's gonna have to lose. You kind of can't have a character like the Fiend lose. That's like having Michael Myers lose in a random match, just getting a 3 count. Like what? Why is Michael Myers losing this match to freaking Rey Mysterio? Like he should be chopping him into pieces and all that. Like what are we doing here? So
I
like
agree.
with Gunther, you kind of need to just build him up more. Like have him be in these main event feuds. Like we see these things where like I'll throw out Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. Was that a feud for a title? Not really. I mean, yeah, there was a title involved in
Crazy.
multiple occasions, but not against each other. Like they never
Yeah.
really fought each other for a title, and yet that was a main event level feud going into like wherever they were
Yeah.
facing each other. So it's like that's what Gunther really needs going forward. And like I believe I had said this like a few months ago with the idea of Obafemi versus Gunther, having Obafemi being the one person that Gunther can't beat.
Yeah.
Like, because that's the thing. Like, they tried this story with Damian Priest. I got it, understood it, but it's just like, I couldn't really see it with Damian Priest for some reason. Like, I just couldn't really fully believe it. But like with somebody like Obafemi,
Yeah.
that dude's a freaking monster. That's literally Super Broly versus Z Broly. Who's
Yeah.
gonna win? Who's the better character? Well, it's obviously it's obviously Super Broly. Like
Agreed.
he's the better character, kind of stronger too for gonna bring power scaling into all this. But this is wrestling, not anime. This is live action anime, not anime. But I mean that's kind of how I would see like that side of the tournament going,
Yeah.
because when I look at who's involved with this and who, like, some of the names that we've thrown out, like we've thrown out Obafemi's name, we've thrown out Joe Hendry's name, Matt Cardona's name's been thrown around as well. I see like Joe and Matt being like on the SmackDown side of things. So like on SmackDown when we find out next week's first round opponent,
Yeah.
I can see there being another mystery aspect to it, and that could be Matt Cardona or Joe Hendry. I think it's going to be Joe Hendry versus LA Knight this week. I don't know. We'll wait and find that out on Friday. But like when it comes to Raw's mystery character, give us Obafemi just destroying Solo Sikoa,
Yeah.
because that would that would make me so happy just to see all that. Just like Solo being like, "Yeah, who's my opponent?" And then you just get like that dun 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 dun, and you get like the little strut going down, like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I'm about to murder Mia Samoan. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm making my Raw debut. Yeah, like
Yeah.
give me that,
It
man."
also gives them like a big name to have on their
Hmm.
brand to really help, switch up the main event scene when it comes to the guys when he eventually gets there. Because I'll just say this: I do envision him to be on Raw whenever he gets there, if it's next week or
Hmm.
whatever the case may be. I do envision that guy on Raw. He just feels like a Raw guy. He just feels like you want him on the A show. You want to showcase exactly who
Yep.
he is. And I know he's going to get a monster push. I know he's going to get pushed well because Sean pushed him very well. So I'm pretty sure Triple H is going to push him very well too. I just feel like this is a good opportunity for him. And I agree with what you said. You could do something with the TNA guys on SmackDown. You could have two NXT guys on Raw. Javon and Obafemi, they have a history. You can get that little correlation there where it's like, oh yeah, these two guys are upcoming. They got a big future ahead of them, which they mentioned several times when it came to them being on
Hmm.
NXT, when it comes to, Javon and Randy Orton or Obafemi, taking on like these people from TNA or all these, top guys in NXT that,
Hmm.
oh crap. I just remembered something that happened months ago.
Ooh.
I remember when
Mhm.
remember when Gunther was champion and they just glanced at Obafemi like on the camera when he was
Oh
there.
yeah.
I was just thinking about that. So they already have that in their heads. So it's like you could easily like just make that parallel back to all of those months ago, and then they could eventually meet in the ring. And then Oba can talk his
Mhm.
crap. Gunther can talk his crap. Oba can easily say something where it's like, I saw you at your downfall when you lost that title to Jey Uso. He could easily clown him for that. He could even give some props to Javon, saying at least Javon was able to do this, and then you weren't able to do this with that guy. It's a story writes itself. It just makes so much sense. And if you want to give us engaging television, this is the kind of stuff that you do.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of Obafemi's strut right now, just on the main roster. I'm just like, Give it to me, man. Give it to me." Like the presentation's there, like the
At,
package is there. Just do it and all
Yeah.
that.
at times, I always go back to NXT, um, whatever, like their spin-off show. For those
Stand
that
and
are
Deliver.
no, no, no. The NXT Level Up. because if anybody remember,
that show.
Obafemi,
Oh, I know
he
what you're
didn't have the
talking
active.
about. Yeah.
So if anybody remember, it's just that I watched clips of Level Up before he became the ruler. So just seeing he speak all proper English and then speaking as the ruler, it's just that I can't get away of the difference. So every time when I hear people talking about the ruler, I'm like, but Peggy Farmer remembers when he used to have no accent. That's what I remember of Obafemi as well.
Yeah. But we could be here all night speculating on who this mystery opponent's gonna be. We'll find out next week on Raw. We'll find out on SmackDown this coming week who LA Knight's mystery opponent is. I still have a feeling it's either gonna be Matt Cardona or Joe Hendry. I think that those are my two picks, at least for the LA Knight one. Obafemi is kind of my lock for next week, but again, we could be here all night speculating, theorizing, theory crafting, and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
I think the last thing I want to mention with this whole John Cena stuff, I like that he mentioned one thing.
Joe Hendry.
He mentioned one thing during his promo segment earlier, and that's like the setup for Saturday night's main event, how we're apparently getting some exhibition matches from main roster talent against NXT talent. So I want one match from you guys. What is one match you would want to see from Saturday night's main event between a main roster talent and an NXT talent?
It could be male or female.
Male or female, yes.
And to confirm, that exhibition is main roster versus NXT, right?
Yes.
Oh damn. I'll come out and say Blake Monroe versus Stephanie Vaquer.
I like that.
I was gonna say Blake Monroe versus Tiffany. The new versus the old.
That
could work too. That could work too.
Too.
It just all depends if they want to. That I can see that being a big money program. So I don't know if they want to do that right away, but I can definitely see that. That's definitely up there.
Yeah.
I'll think of one.
Yeah.
What about you, Watkins? Because I'm gonna think of my men's.
Ooh. I mean, I want Trick Williams. That's my NXT pick, and like there's part of me that wants him and Mello to run it back because I want to see like the dynamic that they would have.
Yeah.
From what they've been through just in the past year. From Mello kind of like going backwards, but then like trying to build himself back up, and then Trick kind of like going down this heel rabbit hole, doing the things that he's done and going after like a newly faced Carmelo. That could be something. I know we just got it like what was it, like a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
but like just knowing their dynamics now, I think would be really cool. It would be really something to do. My other pick would be give me Ilya Dragunov with something. I don't know who.
Ricky Saints.
See, I kind of lean towards Ricky Saints, but I don't know if I would want Ricky to eat a loss like that right then and there. You know what? Ethan Page. Give me Ethan Page versus Ilya Dragunov, because it would be North America versus the United States.
Yeah. Even Javon and Ilya Dragunov would work out pretty well too.
Oh my! No, don't tickle my pickle like that.
Yeah.
Like...
So for my men's, unless Cody's not doing something, I'm gonna say Cody versus Ricky Saints.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah, that's a good one.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that a lot.
I kind of like how this is like a mini Survivor Series.
Me too. Yeah, I really like that a lot. But yep. So that's most of what our John Cena stuff is. It's great when WWE is very focused on what they're doing, because then we get good programs like this. We get good conversations like this. Like we just spent like the better part of like 40 plus minutes, almost an hour, really, like of our show talking about this John Cena stuff. So again, like when you're focused on your product and focused on like creating something good, you create something that people actually engage with, something that people want to talk about and all that stuff. And like you still get your decent matches and all that stuff from this tournament. Now, compared to some of the stuff on the rest of the show, I mean, some of it was good, but some of it was just like, this could have been an email. really. So one of those things being not really our World Heavyweight Championship picture, but really what the men are doing for War Games. Because hey, we got 2 War Games matches. We've got to kind of, I don't want to say rush to set up, but we gotta at least know who the teams are so that way we can build towards it. At least with that focus and all that. So like CM Punk starts us off with this segment that he has. He just comes to the ring. He's not there to wrestle. He's there for a fight. He wants Logan Paul out there. Out comes Logan Paul. He says some stuff. Not gonna lie, I was not listening to Logan Paul, so I was taking CM Punk's advice during that segment of just like ignoring Logan Paul. But of course, Paul Heyman comes out. He says some stuff about like AJ Lee calling Punk the most unlikable guy ever, and they're gonna beat him up basically. But CM Punk has some backup, not only in Jay Uso, but Cody Rhodes, who is there tonight just because, I mean, he wanted to be there for John Cena to see him one last time in
Yeah.
Boston and all that stuff. But of course, they want the team. They want Heyman to know what's up. They call in William Regal to yell War Games. It's on. We've got Team Punk versus, I'm calling it Team Heyman. I
Yeah.
mean, granted, Heyman's not going to be part of the match, but it's Team Heyman. Let's be honest here. So far with the teams, we have Punk, Cody, and Jay on the face side. And on the heel side, we have Braun and Logan Paul. So I know the internet, like this is just like a night of speculation and theory crafting with us. So I guess I want to kind of bring it up to you guys. Who do you think is going to be like joining the heel, the face side? Are we going to get like a 4-on-4, a 5-on-5? How do you think this is going to go? Drop, why don't you start us off with the theory crafting?
So I feel like regardless the way you look at it, the babyface team is just gonna look the most dominant just because the names I'm about to
Mhm.
say. So I'm gonna say the last two names because I feel like it's gonna be a 5-on-5, and the
Yeah.
heel team is only gonna feel dominant because of one person. But I'm gonna say John Cena and Roman Reigns are like the other two names that's gonna
Mhm.
be included in that because I feel like John Cena might want to do one War Games match before his career ends, and I can easily see that being the case. And then Roman Reigns fits like a glove in this match because he has unfinished business here. You could run that whole storyline with him and Jay in the match, so it makes a lot of sense if they head down
Mhm.
that direction. And then for the men, I'm gonna say Brock Lesnar because we still have that whole
Mhm.
conversation that him and Paul Heyman had months ago, so we need to get a follow up with that. And I feel like if you're seeing these other two names being a part of the match, and another interesting thing to look at as well is if Brock Lesnar is indeed a part of this match, he already has history of Cody, he already has history of Punk, he already has history of Roman, and he also has history with what was the other name I was
Jay.
John Cena. He has
Mhm.
history with those four guys. So it's like, okay, you can create a spot in there. You got those four guys against Brock going after him because they all have history with the guy. And then the other guy,
Mhm.
I'm going to say, I'm not too confident on, but I feel like since we reported it on Grappling with the Week, we had him on the thumbnail a couple weeks ago when we talked about how to utilize talent in wrestling. I don't necessarily want him to be a heel, kind of want him to be a baby face because I feel like it would work better in that favor. I'm not 100% confident on this. I'm going to say Austin Theory would be the other guy. Other than that, I
Mhm.
really have no idea who else could fit here. Maybe Dominic Mysterio could be part of this. I
Yeah.
don't know. He would probably be like the Theory slash Dominic Mysterio thing if that were to be a thing. Because one of the things that they typically do when it comes to these war game matches is like there's a lot of correlation between the teams where it's like these people are feuding, so it's like you got the baby faces and the heels on the opposing sides because of whoever's feuding with one another. Like, for example, Punk is button heads with Logan Paul or whatever, and you got Roman and everybody's pretty much feuding with the Vision nowadays. But it's like there's always
Yeah.
something with that. But yeah, that's all I can really think of honestly. Like I feel like that last name because I'm pretty confident on Brock, but that last name, like
Mhm.
Theory or Dominic, that's all I'm gonna say for that. I don't know if there's like any other name that you two can think of that could fit that, but I don't know for that last name.
What? How about you go first, Vash? Because I'm trying to think of somebody as well for that heel side of it all.
So for one, when it comes to your options, I believe Roman and John is a good option on the babyface side. Uh, However, for the heel side, I do agree with Brock as well because one, goddamn, the Raw episode, they played that video package for Las Vegas next year like 3 times. So that must mean that these are the front runners for WrestleMania. That means Brock is a big guy
Yeah.
that has to be showing for
Yep.
this PLE. So hey, obviously,
Mm.
Cody Roman, we haven't seen him, but somehow this man could sneak himself in any match because guess what? He's the OTC. Sorry, he's the OTC one is what he's
boy.
called. So Roman, John, Brock, great options, great choice. The fifth one for the Vision, I feel like Theory is a good choice,
Yeah.
but I also would have said Ethan Page, but I also cannot say that now because right now Ethan Page is kind of doing his own thing with Chelsea Green and being the mixed tag team. So right now I don't think he's kind of booked
Yeah.
right now doing his own storyline. So I can't really recommend Ethan Page, and I
Yeah.
can't really say like because I was gonna say a wild card, like yo, like maybe some Trick Williams, like somebody from NXT, like grab somebody that has that type of aggressive attitude right now. Because remember, Trick was having that aggressive attitude, because when he lost the title and everything over the past year. So if you want to use that, have somebody from NXT come up and everything, like they did with Lash Legend, and right now she is being assisting, SmackDown. Right now, I know that they're not like dating or married, so they don't have to bring him up, voluntarily. But it's something that's a possible that
That
hey.
does make sense.
I feel like Trick is a good opportunity that if Last Legend is coming up, Trick Williams might be following because I know they're, living together. They have a good stable relationship.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility of Trick Williams. That's my little,
Yeah.
was it, I forgot the word, like random
Yeah,
piece.
I do like that Trix William thing because that could easily help prep him for like his main roster debut when it comes to just tagging with the Vision for a little bit. It could really give him some time to just soak in on the main roster, be with those guys since they've been in there for a while, and he's also being managed by Paul Heyman, even though he's charismatic and can speak for himself. Still aligning him with somebody like that, it would be smart. And I actually wouldn't mind the Trick Williams option because, again, just like how we spoke about Obafemi a little bit ago, he's done everything he possibly could on NXT. He went up against Ricky Saint a little bit ago for that shot at the title. I don't really know what he's doing now. So it's like, I mean, move him up. And his girlfriend's there. They're gonna be traveling with each other. She's a part of the WarGames match. I mean, you want to add another correlation, another connection. Okay, my girlfriend's in her WarGames match. I'm gonna be in my WarGames match against all these top guys. They're gonna kick my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, yeah, Theory's a good shout with it. I do think it might be Brock as the fourth guy as well.
Yeah.
And like him being inserted, I mean that's a good way for John to insert himself because hey, I don't like the fact that you embarrassed me at WrestlePalooza, Brock. Hey, look, there's that word again, Vash.
Oh God,
I don't like how you
it's a
embarrassed
sin.
me at WrestlePalooza. So yeah, I'm gonna take my revenge, and I could see like a whole thing where it's like the five faces do all their finishers on Brock to take him out and all that. It ends with like a big old spear from Roman because hey, we gotta get that, or just an AA from John to just get that win
Dude.
over Brock and all
Dude.
that.
I was just thinking of like Trick Williams aligning against Brock Lesnar. That's why I started cracking before you started talking. Because after Vash mentioned that Trick Williams thing, I was like, Trick Williams and Brock Lesnar teaming up. Just that image.
Yeah.
The reason I'm laughing is because of Walker saying the combo of all these faces doing their finisher on Brock. In my head, I don't know why, but I got the Marvel versus Capcom type of combo finisher that they do to kind of finish your opponent off, where you have fucking Cyclops and you have Cable doing his cannons, and that should be like extra powerful. It's like, yeah, fusion cannon.
Yeah.
Boom.
The funny thing about that is that John and Punk set up their finishers the same way, so that's gonna be funny when they try to do that little wombo combo thing with that, where it's like a GTS.
they're both gonna stare at each other as well. One of them is gonna do the, go to, the GTS. The other one's gonna be FU. They're both gonna stare at each other like, yeah, let's do it. And they'll both drop
Yeah.
the same guy at the
I
same
would s-
time.
I would
All the
say,
spots.
yeah, I would say Punk should do it his GTS first if they were to do that to at least stun him, and then that's when Cena could swoop in and do that.
Yeah. And then when it comes to like the fifth member, I mean,
Yeah,
if if dirt sheets are lying, which I kind of hope they are in
yeah,
this instance, and I hope it's not time for him to go and film,
Ah,
Drew McIntyre is literally like right there. But
yeah,
again, like because I didn't think he was leaving to film Highlander yet. I thought he
yeah,
still had like until like December or at least January to like go out and do that.
yeah.
But I mean, I did see some reports saying, "Oh yeah, he's going out to film." And I'm just like, well, I see that I'm seeing this from the Observer, I think. So it's just like, okay,
Oh
well, I'm
boy.
taking
Hmm.
that with a grain of salt. But it's just like you kind of had the setup too, like, and I even said it in our group chat too. I was just like, okay, you have a good setup for Drew to show up on Raw since he was suspended from SmackDown. So it's like, okay, where else can he go? Oh, let me go to Raw. Let me align myself up with Paul Heyman because I'm sure he could find a good old little slimy loophole for me to get through to be able to still like put on work because I have a freaking family
to feed. You're not letting them eat. You're taking food off my table. I'm like, it doesn't work like that, but I
Like,
guess my
dude,
story was sure, I guess.
yeah. Um, he would just be my other pick for the War Games match, but again, like I don't know if he's actually going to film. I don't know what to believe when it comes to the dirt sheets because they come up with some funky things. Like I saw one earlier about the women's US title, and I'm just like, that makes zero sense considering timing and all that. You guys are just trying to stir the pot. Let's
Oh
not
yeah,
do
100%.
that. Yeah.
If this was
But
like two
hey,
months ago with the US title with how it's being presented, then yes.
yeah, yeah, but that's basically the men's War Games match. Is we're at the starting point now. We just got to fill in the gaps and all that. We'll fill in those gaps as the stories go on and all that.
I have a question. Do you think
Hmm.
do, do you think Regal like he came to work just to literally be like, yo,
Yeah.
we need you to say that one line. Here's your here's your copyright free since this is your line, word games, and we only have you say like I just love how CM Punk just said Regal like it's like Joe Hendry, like you say his name, he appears, he just pops
Yeah.
out of nowhere. Yes.
He better be at the
War
event.
Well,
games.
He better be at the event.
Oh, he has to. I believe he has
better.
been
He
at the
better.
event of the past two. I
Yeah.
believe that he's been there, and
Yeah,
he
'cause-
also
I
think
announces
so.
it when it starts. I believe.
Yeah, because I know before, like when he left AEW, he was like on this thing where he wasn't able to appear on TV for a bit, but he was with them. But I'm glad
Yeah.
that he's on television now because I would love to see him, do that before like the first one starts, or maybe if he does it for like the main event, which more than likely it's going to be the men's one, I would assume.
Yeah, I would assume so, especially with the possible names in that men's one and all that. So, yeah, we got a good starting line for the men's War Games match. But before we get into talking about the women's War Games match, let's hit on the women's world title picture. So, we actually had a title match tonight. Stephanie Vaquer taking on Raquel Rodriguez, set up because, hey, Raquel's been on a hot streak lately. She's been doing really good work and all that. And, she's earned herself a title shot. And she's going to face Stephanie Vaquer, who actually has Nikki Bella by her side to make sure, Roxanne Perez doesn't do anything funky here. And, I thought this match was good. I thought, especially from Raquel's standpoint, because like she was basically on top throughout the whole match. Like she had an answer for everything Stephanie threw at her. She was using her power very wisely. Like this is probably one of the better instances of or sorry, losing track of English language right now this late in the evening. Raquel probably looked the best that she's had in a long time, and every week she's been getting better. So that's not a big slight on her recent work, but like she looked really good tonight. And I mean, on any other night she could have won this title, but unfortunately, like Stephanie's just like her attacks are just a little bit too powerful. Her durability is just way up there. She's able to pull out the win, pull out the stops, and Drop, I actually thought about you for this because, like, uh, I was thinking to myself because, like, part of the story of this match was okay, Stephanie can't really get Raquel up for her finisher.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, what can Stephanie do in order to defeat Raquel Rodriguez? And luckily, Stephanie has another finisher, that almost spiral tap moonsault kind of thing. I forgot what they actually call it on
Yeah.
commentary, but she was able to hit that for the win and all that. So like her having a secondary finisher beyond like trying to lift somebody up is a really good thing, and it's something that a lot of stars need in their repertoire. Like,
Yeah.
Kurt Angle's a good example too that I always
Yeah.
kind of lean towards with this, where like he not only has the ankle lock, he has the angle slam. So like if you can't do anything with the angle slam, let me just get you on the ground, work on that ankle, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, you're tapping out because I'm about to break your ankle. But of
Yeah.
course, Stephanie Vaquer wins. Roxanne tries to do a post-match beatdown. She even tries to interfere in the match, but again, Nikki Bella is out there to even the odds with that. And oh no, Nikki, she turned on Stephanie. Who could have seen that coming?
I know,
Who
right?
would have known? Who would have thought? Oh my God, she turned on her. What is she doing? What is she thinking? I'm so glad Wade Barrett's a commentator because he just puts so much logic into everything. He's just like, yeah, when you hold gold, you don't have a lot of friends because everybody wants that top prize. So, Vash, I'm going to start with you. What you think of the match itself? What do you think of the twist of Nikki Bella turning on Stephanie Vaquer? Did you not see it coming? Did it shock you? Did it amaze you? Tell me your thoughts on all this.
Well, chat. Did I see it coming? It's not like I heard for the past 2 months of Watkins telling me every week on Monday Night Raw saying that Nikki's about to betray her. Yo, Nikki's about to betray her. Yo, Nikki, yeah, she's about to turn heel. She's trying to get the gold. It kind of makes sense. Like when you're hanging out with somebody, Steffi never said, "Hey, I need you out there." She said, "Thank you for coming along. It's nice to have the extra support in case I get jumped because it's 2 against 1 because that's how it is to have these factions. But I don't really need you." Nikki's like, "Yes, girl, I'm gonna massage your shoulders. Yes, do your thing. You are the winner. You are the champion." In my head, I'm like, nah, she fake. Girl has that fake aura. Girl has that fake energy. And I knew immediately. Once she literally did the whole slam down, grabbed the title, she said, "Yeah, this is mine in the future." I'm like, yeah, I saw it coming. It wasn't that like, "Oh my God." No, it was like cool.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Thank God they were in Boston because the booze when Nikki did that, ooh boy. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, Boston doesn't like you, Nikki, and we
Yeah,
know
there were no
why.
pop.
Yeah, we know exactly
Yeah,
why.
but
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, I like how you made that comparison earlier when it came to her having a second finisher to finish off Raquel, because there's also
mhm,
like an upcoming star that does the same thing, which is Skylar Ray. She happens to be the season 2 winner of LFG, and she actually has Undertaker's approval to use Hell's Gate when she has opponents
mhm,
bigger than her in order to, finish them off in the match because, just like a lot of other people, she has setup moves. Sometimes those opponents are bigger than her and she can't do it. So that's something she has a result to. She puts them in the Hell's Gate, she makes them tap, and she can get the job done. So it's always nice to have something like that in mind when you're going up against all these different people. Like, even though John Cena has the strength, sometimes he has to put the STF on people if he wants to take them out. He put a rope on, like, around Umaga's neck all those years ago in the Last Man
yeah,
Standing match to really, take him out for the count when it came to that. Like, it's just something that you got to do. But the match itself, I really liked how Raquel's like really pushing herself more. This is the kind of Raquel that I need
Agreed.
to see on weekly television. It was definitely a lot better than the conversations that we had last year because we weren't really thrilled with how Raquel was around that time. But now it's very good to see her on television because she just feels like a completely new person. So that's something I can applaud her for. Her and Stephanie Becker had a good match. Not really worried in Stephanie's favor because she always has good matches with people because she's going to have to, of course, do a good carry job in the next couple weeks. But I am very, I wasn't shocked at all when it comes to the betrayal, because we all saw it coming. I I knew it was probably going to happen in this match, because it's like, okay, I'm going to help you take out Roxanne and Raquel. And all of a sudden, because they always do this camera angle, like I see it all the time whenever they do incidents like this, where it's like, okay, where's Nikki and everything? Oh, I'm going to get your title, hand it back to you and everything, so we can walk back and just chill. You have her hit her, poses with the title and everything, hoping this is them telling us that, yeah, this is going to be, even though she doesn't really have to, Nikki putting her over, because Nikki does not need that title at all, especially when you have a competitor like Stephanie Vaquer, that I did notice they gave her like a pretty cool like new entrance tonight, because she's getting Cody's elevator, so that tells you a lot, because that elevator is reserved for him and him only when he has his big money matches. You're giving her that elevator with the smoke and everything and the presentation, the entrance. Like Triple H definitely had a couple rehearsals that he, does when he's trying to imagine how the superstar's presentation is going to be when it comes to the entrances that we've seen on social media many times. So it's like you're giving somebody like that an entrance like that, building her to be a top threat and everything. Yeah, I'm hoping you're putting her over, because, I mean, you look at who our champions are right now. Jade Cargill, okay, you're putting her in the right position. Now you got Stephanie Vaquer as the women's world champion. Okay, stick with that, because then it's gonna feel off balance, where it's like Nikki Bella is the world champion, then Jade Cargill. Like, I'm sorry, I can't get behind Nikki Bella as a world champion in 2025. Do I have any ill will towards her? No, but this is Stephanie's time to shine. More than likely going to be the match at Survivor Series, I would assume, because that's basically what it feels like it's building to. You're going to have something happen next week where they're going to get at each other, and then Adam Pearce is probably going to make the match, and then, there you go. And then you can hopefully move on from that, and you can go and do whatever she needs to do next with that. But yeah, what a big shocker that heel turn was.
I know, right? Like, it was so big that even Ray Charles could see it. Like, what the hell? Like, come
Look,
on, come on.
if I could have one more thing on top of that, is that Raquel's been doing good ever since the report that she took advice from, what's his name? I should
Kevin Nash.
Oh yeah, Kevin Nash. Yeah,
Thank you, Kevin Nash. Ever
definitely
since then,
influenced
she's
from
been
them.
taking
Yeah.
such a good job. Like, even a few roll-ups that she, like, Raquel's been hitting the gym. Like, there's a few roll-ups that she actually grabbed Stephanie and like grab her up in the air. Like, it just shows that they're putting the work. And Raquel's also looking like she's dressing more comfortable, like in her gear. So I feel like I'm happy they also stopped doing the back thing for her character. Like, yeah, look at my strong back.
Oh, well,
I'm glad we move on from that and we're not doing that no more. So it's been good. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. It's just more of a confidence thing in the ring. Like, she's just gained more confidence.
That
She's
too, yeah.
happy being just doing what she's doing and all that. So yeah, more power to you, Raquel. Good job on doing better and all that. But yeah, Stephanie's gonna beat Nikki Bella. She's gonna just get that little notch in her belt of like, I beat a Hall of Famer, a legend, blah blah blah. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
great. You're gonna get that notch. That's gonna be awesome. Maybe a different legend could come around for you to beat up instead of Nikki Bella, but hey, we're here right now with that match coming up. We'll enjoy it or not enjoy it. We'll have to see. Maybe Drop's prediction will be right, where it's going to be Stephanie carrying a lot of it, which chances are that's going to be right. But speaking of carrying everything, let's talk about what our main event was, as the women's tag titles were on the line as Charlotte and Alexa took on the Kabuki Warriors. Now, I had this thought, and I meant to say this to you guys like in our group chat and all that, but I wanted to save it for the show. I'm gonna go on record right now and say, like, at least like for the past like few weeks, maybe even a month or so, I feel like the women's tag titles have been booked a lot better than the men's tag titles.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Agree. In
That's-
Like,
both divisions
yeah.
as well.
Yep.
hmm Like, they've actually been defending them. They've actually, like, and say what you want about like the story going on. Like, yeah, there's not too much like story progression when it comes to like Charlotte and Alexa, but like now that they've dropped the titles to the Kabuki Warriors, it's like, okay, now where are they gonna go? Because now that Charlotte's not a champion, how is she going to be acting with Alexa? Like now they're stuck in this War Games match, with Rhea and Io, which we'll get into here in a second. But after putting on a very good main event match, like if anything, there was a part in this match where I'm just like, man, look at Asuka reminding people just how good she is. Like her and Charlotte are those wrestling soulmates that you hear so much about. Like those two know each other in and out, and they know just like how to sell each other's moves, how to really like work each other and all that. So that's always been that was like a highlight for me for this match. But like, yeah, I thought these two teams really brought their A game tonight and put on a good contest. Now, Nia and Lash coming out to run interference, I kind of question that because I'm just like, okay, you guys started a program with them on Friday. Would you not want to keep the titles on Alexa and Charlotte? Or is the idea like, oh, you guys aren't best friends, you aren't good friends and all that? So like, I guess now the story again, like this is the story progression part of it, where it's like, where does Charlotte and Alexa go beyond this? Like, and even beyond War Games, like, are they gonna stay a team? Are they gonna like stay we're not friends but actually are? Like, are they gonna continue their little tsundere act with each other? I really don't know. But again, really great match, I thought, between the two teams. Ends with the Kabuki Warriors winning, Charlotte eating the pin as well. So that's something big to kind of take away from all this. And yeah, we get our women's War Games match set up because the heels beat down the good guys, and out comes Io and Rhea, which, Rhea wearing the protective face mask. She's still dealing with her broken nose, which interesting that like I think it was last year's War Games match too, or the year before, Rhea entered with a face mask as well. So just kind of interesting that like for two War Games, she's entering with a face mask, but that's neither here nor there. We're getting the match. I guess kind of the same question with you guys too when we talk about the women's War Games match, but with the tag match itself. Vash, what do you think of this tag team title bout that we had between the Kabukis and Charlotte and Alexa?
I will say that I really enjoy this match because one, I love when Wade Barrett, I love when he reveals the results during commentary, because when you listen closely, yo, the Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss has had a great reign over time. And when I heard, I'm like, oh, they're speaking past tense. They're speaking that what already has been had, not currently. So that must mean that they're losing. And that was the case. However, that did not ruin the excitement for me, because something I did not expect, that actually what Watkins said. Charlotte Flair, I didn't expect her to get the pin, or I didn't expect what happened this past Friday to have Lash Legend and Nia Jax come out and be like, yeah, we're a duo now, and we're going to distract you and have you guys lose the match. And I didn't know Lash Legend like became full heel, unless I missed a bit of her spots or scenes during NXT over the past couple months, that she stayed heel since the metaphor stuff, but I guess that has been her route. But just to see her working with Nia, that's interesting. Hoping it goes well and it gets her over and everything, since she hasn't won a lot of belts on the NXT since they just put her on SmackDown. Let's see where this type of direction goes. But on the match, again, like I said, it was a good entertaining. I didn't expect for Charlotte Flair to actually get the pin and actually lose the belts. Walker said a great point. Where's the next type of direction for them? Because it's going to be very interesting how Alexa and Charlotte Flair relationship is, because Alexa Bliss has been one of the people that said, who is Charlotte Flair without the belt? Who's Charlotte Flair without the champion being the one? Who are you?
Yeah.
So let's see where that goes now that she don't got a belt. Are they going to still be friends, caring for one another? Or are they going to be going from frenemies to fully enemies? So let's see where that goes. But congrats to the Kabuki Warriors. I don't know how many times they're champions now, but congrats to them to being tag team. I know this is more story driven. Oh, 4 times? 5?
Is it
3? 4?
5?
Really?
5.
Is it 5?
Wow.
Yeah, because
I honestly expected 3 or 4. Wow.
Yeah, it's either 4 or 5. It's definitely, I know
Yeah.
it's at least one of those.
Okay.
But
Yeah. And I know Asuka's held him more than Kyrie, because
Yeah.
she was actually teammates with Alexa for a bit.
Yeah, she
Maybe
was.
no, not Charlotte. No, not Charlotte. But and just to answer a question real quick before you give your answer drop, with the whole Lash thing, being heel, you probably look back on Friday when she ragdolled Alexa
Yeah, she definitely did
during
ragdoll
that
her ass.
Charlotte Nia match. So that's probably where like the heel turn part of it came from with
Okay,
that. But
so
you know,
at the moment was
yeah,
the full heel turn from going from like
yeah,
that type of route. Understood.
yeah. But yeah, I yeah, you weren't on Friday's show, so you get a pass on that. It's fine. But Chop, what do you think of the match and like everything going forward, at least when it comes to like the tag team division?
So I really like this match. Charlotte and Alexa definitely revived the women's tag title division because it felt like a sinking ship
Hmm.
before. Now they actually feel like titles. Now I actually look forward to seeing them when it comes to the matches that they've had. And this is like the second time on Raw as of recent that they have been the main event match to close out the show. And both of those matches that they have had previously have been very good. So I do applaud them for doing what they did. And just going off to what Vash said earlier, now you put that theory to the test. This is where you give Charlotte some character growth when it comes to her
Hmm.
actually taking the title away and actually looking at Alexa as like a true friend to her, actually recognizing the bond that they created because before they didn't really know how to look at each other, but that belt helped bring them together and helped them form a proper friendship. Let's see if that still sticks together after this. This is what I really want to see. And I'm hoping that they can look at each other and be like, yeah, we're still friends at the end of the day because you got to give Charlotte some good character growth more than Alexa because Alexa has character and everything, but Charlotte, you really need to show like something that could, really get the conversation going week by week when it comes to like, okay, who is Charlotte Flair now? So I am very curious to see what that's going to be because that's definitely a question that needs to be answered. Because when you make theories, when you ask questions, you eventually need to find out the results of those. And I feel like now is the time where we're going to find out exactly what's going on with that. But of course, first they're going to have to work with one another, not just because of the War Games match, but because of who they're dealing with as well when it comes to Nia Jax and Lash Legend, going after them and just causing all of this trouble. So that's something that they're going to have to pay attention to. And the Kabuki Warriors becoming champion, giving them some reps to really show who they are and everything now, especially since Rhea and Io has been gone for a little bit. That gives them a little motivation, that gives them that sort of wall that you can build around them for the time being when it comes to them looking like this unstoppable force until the time comes when they eventually have to drop those titles. But that time dropping not going to come anytime soon. I would assume we're probably end up having a match of Rio and Io, but that's like far, far in the future
Hmm.
once we eventually get to that. So I did
Yeah.
enjoy what we had here. And I guess like the next question to really ask now is like, we saw how the episode ended when it comes to what they're setting up for War Games, when it comes to the teams that they established so far. And this one actually seems more sorted out than the men's because the men's, there's still some
Hmm.
layers there because there's like 3-3 with the men's as of now until those other guys walk in there. But we have Charlotte and Alexa with Io and Rhea, and then we have the Kabuki Warriors with Lash Legend and Nia Jax. So I'm gonna say right here, because obviously we'll talk about her in our quickfire segments, but I would assume Becky Lynch is gonna be on the opposing team. And then we'll probably
Hmm.
have, because Punk already alluded to it, because they haven't said her name on television for knows how long. AJ Lee.
Yeah.
Say that.
Girl
Yeah.
disappeared
I
from the
mean,
map. People have been questioning where is she at.
yeah.
Girl came, and I hate them saying this fucking POE. She came in, no, she came in wrestle at the POE in September. If you know, you know. So and then after that, she disappeared for the next 2 months, and we don't know where she's at. People have been asking, tweeting like, yo, how do you bring her back for the hype for 3 weeks, put her on the POE, and then she's off the map? Where did she go?
Yep.
She probably had some stuff to do after her match at WrestlePalooza, so I needed a reason to say WrestlePalooza to you.
Oh,
Like I could see the Becky AJ thing, but I, I'm kind of gonna go on a different angle with this, and I'm gonna say Jade and Tiffany on each side because Tiffany's been absent for I don't know how long. And Jade, I mean, she just won the title and all that. And yeah, she's, top bitch or whatever she wants to call herself on SmackDown. But I could see her kind of getting involved in a way. And plus that kind of summoning Tiffany Stratton. The only reason I'm kind of going away from Becky and AJ is, at least to me, it feels like they're kind of separate from all this going on. Whereas like with Jade and Tiffany, I could see them getting dragged into it more because like especially with Becky, like Becky's somebody that like she doesn't willingly team up with anybody. She'll just kind of just do her own thing, and if she needs to team up with somebody, fine, cool, whatever. But like I don't see Becky, at least with the character she has now, I don't see her really like willingly going into a War Games match like this unless like AJ does cost her the title next week, which I mean that could be a thing too, and like that leads them to both like hating each other and all that stuff. But it's like for me, I would rather their feud kind of be title centric as well as on top of the character reasons why they both want to go after each other. So I mean, they would have to just show me, okay, this is how we're moving them towards War Games. It's just like right now, it's just like I would rather them away from War Games. I'd rather them do their own thing for the women's IC title because ideally, I would rather have AJ Lee take the title off of Becky. And again, that's more of a me thing. I would rather personally like that. But again, if they're gonna go the route
let's go.
of I mean, yeah, that too. But if they're gonna go the route of Becky and AJ in the War Games match, fine. Just let's see how we get there and all that. But like, I did at least want to throw Jade and Tiffany out there because like Jade at least has some sort of history, with Nia. I think she has a little bit with Lash. I think it was mainly in like the Royal Rumble. They might have had a stare off if I remember correctly, or maybe I'm just kind of mixing all my ladies together from the Royal Rumble and all that. But I could at least see some sort of alliance coming from that. And of course, again, like I said, Tiffany's kind of been MIA since Saturday night's main event. Not sure what she's been doing recently, but I mean we'll have to I guess wait for Friday to see what happens there.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's just my quick little predictions on how the teams can be laid out and all that. But with all that being said, we're gonna move on now to our quick fire segments. As we've mentioned before, Maxine versus Becky Lynch is set for next week at Madison Square Garden for the women's IC title, and we also had AJ Styles and Dragon saying, "Hey, we're willing to be fighting champions. We just don't have a name yet." I can't really recall what Dragon Lee said their name was, but it was very wordy. So Vash being the Isekai long title lover, I'm sure he loved the name of their team that Dragon Lee gave. But
Claro que me gustó
yeah,
el
so
nombre de que dijo Dragon Lee. Él habló de algo grande, de el famoso Lee.
yeah, that's too long for me. Yeah, let's do something a little shorter. But yeah, any comments on these quick fire segments for me, guys? Because like I'm glad we're getting this other Maxine Becky match. I don't know what direction they're gonna go to, but I mainly said what I thought about that in my other segment. So anything you guys have to say about these?
When it
So
comes to the Maxine Dupree, I would say that's one thing I'm excited for.
yeah.
Maxine
Mhm.
Dupree, MSG, here for it. I am excited. That's honestly, I would say. She literally say yes or no. But anybody, please take message to this because Maxine Dupree, because this analogy is for anybody. She said that, hey, I feel like I'm ready, but no matter how much training I do, I will never be prepared as long as I get in the ring. And that's what she said.
Mhm.
That no matter that if she may win or lose, at the end of the day, she has to confront her and see what happens. MSG is the spot to have moments. It's the spot to win. And I feel like I'm putting my house, I'm putting all my cards on black. And right now, Maxine Dupree is my choice for winning.
Okay. All right, cool. What about you, Drop?
So when it comes to these quickfire segments, Maxine versus Becky Lynch being set for next week, I'm hoping that Maxine is able to have a legit match with her this time, because I didn't really like how their first match ended, where you had Becky Lynch just acting like a dumb heel and just getting herself counted out. So I'm really hoping Becky uses this to actually showcase Maxine and actually give her a good showing and everything. I do expect an AJ Lee thing here. Regardless, it doesn't necessarily have to tie in with War Games, but I mean, they gotta eventually bring that up again. And if you also gotta recall as well that Maxine was talking about like a sort of friend that she had contact with. So I would assume that would be the friend that would make the most sense, especially if Becky goes
Agreed.
like to the next level and does some really nasty stuff to her. So I would assume she would probably pop up there if it's after the match, during the match, whatever the case may be. I do expect that to be the friend heading into that. And hopefully we get a name with AJ and Dragon Lee soon. Hopefully they actually look for some challengers, because I mean, that's a tag team that can go just like Charlotte and Alexa did when it comes to really reviving the tag division when it comes to the men. So I'm really hoping we get something with them moving forward in the near future, because I mean, I'd hate for them just to have the titles and then not do anything with it.
Mhm.
And I don't want to see another Judgment Day thing at all.
Was that the only one that was wondering why AJ was avoiding to actually make a name for it? Or do you think that's just part of the bit?
I feel like that was part of the bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah, because I think he wanted to make like a, a shorter name instead of one that like took forever and ever. Like, like again, like your lovely isekais that you like to watch, Vash. Like,
Nosotros somos
nobody
la
wants to
phenomenals.
read.
Lee.
Yeah, nobody wants to watch a series like, oh, I used to be a drug salesman in the world. Now I got hit by a truck coon and am a pet owner in this new world filled with magic and love and wonder. But oh no, I lost my ankle to the demon lord. So now I have to be his chauffeur because I need my leg back so I can actually walk and move and all that.
Great
That's the
title.
name of
I
that
love it. I will be
isekai.
watching.
Yep, coming this winter 2026 anime season. But you know what? Instead of rambling on like a Ramble Johnson that sometimes I could be, we're gonna end the show now because we've reached our final thoughts. We're gonna do our outro. We're gonna do all that stuff. But hey, let's kind of wrap up what we've thought about Raw. I thought this was a pretty good Raw. I thought it was very solid. We had some decent, good matches. We had some good storyline progression, some questions, some theories going on. It's nice to actually sit here and talk positively about the product and actually like get into some things and really just kind of talk about what they could be. Like it makes one feel excited to watch WWE again. Like this is the stuff that like why we started the channel. Like we've gone on multiple rants this year. I feel like about like, oh, what are we doing here? Like what is WWE doing? Like we missed this feeling that we had like almost a year ago of like, okay, the speculation like is off the charts. Where are we going? What are we doing? How are we going to get there? Why is Gamora? All that stuff. So it's just like I like shows like these where we can actually like talk about it and like actually just dive into things and like go into character work and go into like reasons behind things, whether we're right or wrong. It doesn't matter because like we're just trying to like piece together where the road's going to and all that. So shows like this really get the mind flowing, get the body like ready for what's to come. So yeah, just more shows like this. I'm hoping SmackDown is on a similar level as tonight, and hopefully like as we continue this last time is now tournament, each match and each round gets better and better as we keep going. But Vash, what did you think of the night overall?
Honestly, this was a good show. Honestly, this was truly entertaining. The John Cena becoming Grand Slam champion, hella fun. Like, it actually finally happened. We were asking, speculating. We were doing this in the earlier year. When is he gonna get this? Is he gonna become 17? Might he become 18? Will he and become Grand Slam? So many questions. But guess what? All of them have gotten an answer. He became Grand Slam. He got the IC title. Now, will he give this opportunity to what he got 20 plus years ago when he went full aggression against Kurt Angle, and that's what skyrocketed his career? Is who else is going to get the opportunity on December 20th? Will Watkins be screaming his lungs out and have no voice the next day on December 14th? Possibly. We will find out. Stay tuned. Maybe a vlog. We will stay tuned, chat. However, when it comes to the show, like I said, it was honestly entertaining. It was great to talk about good feedback conversation about pro wrestling without shitting on it and saying it was bad and having a short show just because the product was bad. We ramble, we had conversation. Hey, chat, if you guys want us to have Q&A, write down in our YouTube channel, on our podcast, on our previous episode. We will check them out. If there's a question that relates to the podcast or relates to the conversation, we will bring it up always for the Q&A at the end of the show, or also on our social media. Always want to give that friendly reminder to you guys, because you guys is part of the community. You guys are part of the conversation. Let us know what you guys also thought of tonight's Raw. Was it as good as we spoke about, or are we bugging and you guys only want to see the black screens?
Yeah, there was a lot of black screens. Just gonna quickly shout out Naya. Maybe not wear a top like that to do what you do
Well-
for a living. Maybe.
I think she also poked fun of it because she's like, ha, ha. And I'm like, girl,
Oh no, she
Girl,
did. And
she
then
did.
it kept they kept coming out, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm not
They
a
just want to
fashion
say
designer
hi.
or anything.
they just want to say hi.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So stay tuned for those leaked pictures later on. But Drop, what do you think of Raw
Yeah.
tonight?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I see that when I turn off the lights and
Yeah.
go to sleep. But when it comes to this episode of Raw, I thought this episode was very good. I thought they did very well when it comes to building up to the Last Time Is Now tournament. I really liked both of the matches tonight. I'm really glad that Rusev and Sheamus won their respective matches. Very curious to see what's going to be happening next week. Gunther and Javon Evans should be a good match. Really curious to see who that mystery opponent is going to be for Solo. Men's War Games is 3v3 as of now. We still got to wait for those other guys to show up. Women's War Games match seems to be almost done. We'll eventually find out who those two other ladies are going to be to complete the team. But yeah, give us some engaging television, and we can actually have, shows like this where we talk for a little bit and then we, express our thoughts. Because earlier we went like a good half hour talking about the whole John Cena segment because we were so invested with what you were doing with that. And I feel like that's a common theme with a lot of the tournaments that they did do this year, especially when it came to the King and Queen of the Ring tournament that they did earlier this year. We had a lot of engaging conversation. We were talking about all the different kinds of stories that we can do there. This is the kind of stuff that we want to do because you could see us on our TikToks where we have our little clips talking about all these things within our shows. So you could be like, okay, we see these guys talking about it here. Where can we find them? And yeah, I know a
with
certain
that,
guy
yeah.
that knows exactly that.
And with that being said, I want to add a bit more of the social media because I know Walker's about to say, hey, I don't do them out here. I would take the opportunity. I would save you the breath, Walkers. Don't worry. You didn't even have to do the transition. I will jump in for you, and I got you. Because, chat, Drop This Box was giving you this knowledge, and I was giving you this information. TikTok, where you can find us, Weebs of the Ring, because maybe, stay tuned, I didn't get to tell the team yet, but we could go live now on TikTok and of the Weebs of the Ring Animal Weeb Studio account. So maybe you guys may see a multi-platform, one being streamed on YouTube, then the other being streamed on TikTok. So you guys could find the platform, the conversation, instead of seeing short form. Who knows? So stay tuned for that. Like we said, Animal Weeb Studio, Weebs of the Ring. Also find on the flip side, on the IG, on the Instagram, you can find the reels, the posts, the pictures, the thoughts. Everything that you guys see and comment, we will always check it out. We get the notifications. You have the trio here that have 6 eyes that we could check out what the conversation is. So definitely let us know. As well, if you guys want, check the Discord. We appreciate anybody joining the community, talking to us about the Raw, the POEs, the NXTs, the New Japan, the AEW, all the conversation down below in the comments. We appreciate by joining the Discord community, and as well follow the Twitter where we tweet random stuff. We're live, or we sometimes have walk-ins, putting little polls, little tweets, little questions, Q&A. Let us know. We appreciate all the follow and like as well. Subscribe. We appreciate it, chat.
Yes, we appreciate everything that you guys do for us because, hey, nothing without you guys tuning in. And with that line being said, great time to kind of hit the outro, I think. It's late at night. Some of us have work, some of us have doctor's appointments, some of us will probably be up until 5 o'clock again doing God knows what.
Editing.
So, yeah. Well, yeah, editing. Yep, there's that. But hey, thank you guys for so much for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, again, do all that wonderful stuff that Vash told you to do. He told you exactly where to find everything in the description, in the comments, in the chat, wherever you may be, wherever you may want to find us, because our handles are on your screen. Watkins MW, Drop This Box, Legend D Vash, and of course, Weebs of the Ring, and also the hashtag Weebs of the Ring. Great way to interact with us before, during, and after these shows, and also a great way to give us feedback. Because hey, we're nothing without you guys tuning in, and we're going to continue to up our game each and every show. As long as you let us know, hey, we want to see this action on our Weebs of the Ring podcast station. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Animal We Studio. Thanks, of course, to our production team for all of their hard work. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you later on this week for some more wrestling coverage and as we lead up towards the WarGames action. Have a good night.
Go have some waffles.
See you
with
guys.
cheese.